Good evening. Thanks for joining us. This is not a new issue for Kewaunee County residents, but the most recent rainfall is leaving one Kewaunee County family with some tainted water.
Not only is it not drinkable, but as you can see behind us, you wouldn't want to wash your dishes or shower in that water.
Rob and Erica Balza call this place home, located about a mile outside of Luxembourg. When Erica and Rob went to brush their teeth Wednesday night before bed, they noticed their water was brown.
So we ran it and it continued to be brown and started to smell. And then flushed the toilet and it was completely brown. My husband ran the shower to warm up the water and it completely smelled like manure.
This is big stuff. This is stuff. I have 5 children. You know, I am not going to leave this planet with them without feeling like either I fought like hell to make sure they had water or that they have water.
This is life and death. And you know what? I'm 47, I've lived a good life. It ain't about me. It's about my children, and more importantly, it's about their children, our grandchildren.
I want to welcome you guys to the first Factory Farm Summit. Struggle and adversity brought everybody into this room tonight. We're here because of a struggle for our water, our air, our homes, our children's future, and the quality of life in our rural communities.
So I'm just going to give you a little bit of an idea about the scale. The map on the right is just a depiction of where CAFOs are in Wisconsin. And where we are right now, around Green Bay, there's a high concentration of industrial dairies. Policy really matters. About 12 years ago now, our state passed a law that removed almost all local control over the siting of these giant animal factories. As the number of CAFOs has gone up in Wisconsin, the staff at the DNR and the resources available to them have gone down. I think this is a statistic we all really need to try to wrap our heads around, that the number of cattle in Wisconsin produced the waste of Tokyo and Mexico City combined. We only have 5.7 million people in Wisconsin. Kewaunee County has some of the most polluted groundwater in our state. Over 30% of the wells that have been tested are unsafe for human consumption. And what that represents is in Kewaunee County, greater than 80% of all the land is covered by a nutrient management plan. And that's the great standard that is supposed to protect us all. First of all, I don't know that those are all followed. We don't really have enforcement staff. We don't have monitoring. A lot of reporting is questionable. This is a small community, 20,000 people in Kewaunee County and 98,000 cows. So the waste of more than 2 million people, and the majority of that is dumped on thin soils and fractured bedrock.
What folks need to understand is this is not your grandfather's manure. When the animals are raised in confinement like this, you know, they're given everything from growth hormones to steroids, heavy metals in their diets. All this stuff is excreted in the manure. So you're not just putting nitrogen and phosphorus and potassium and things like that on your field when you're taking CAFO manure. You're also putting on heavy metals and trace elements of things that you don't want to see on there, like steroids, growth hormones, things like that.
Here's what I want. We need to get out of the business of large-scale liquid manure systems. We need manure application guidelines that puts emphasis on environmental quality, not optimum crop yields. We need to protect those vulnerable and sensitive landscapes, but most of all, what we really need is to restore citizen governance of our environmental and conservation issues.
Scientists around the world have provided strong evidence that antibiotic resistance, such as in MRSA, is linked to routine feeding of antibiotics in livestock operations. They said it provides the ideal environment for antibiotic resistance, and that these antibiotic-resistant bacteria go from the CAFO into the community and into the food supply. You know, the only question remaining, I think, is whether the economic rights of the agribusiness corporation is more important and will take priority over the basic human rights of people.
We grew up and we could go swimming in our lakes, fishing in our rivers, and drinking our well water. Is that what we're going to leave our children? Or are we going to continue on the path that we are today and make it so that they have no opportunity to enjoy what we are enjoying today? It's about the soul of our state. It is about the ideal of what we want our government to be and what we want our communities to be. We must change how we look at things. It cannot only be about the bottom line. It cannot only be about quarterly profits. It must be about the people. It is time that we work to make it better for everyone.
Water is the new civil rights movement of today's day and age. You know, it is the civil rights issue of our time, and it's going to be the civil rights issue on an unbelievable level for our children and our grandchildren. There are no more rivers to give up. There are no more lakes to trade off and just say, that's okay then, just keep it over there. He's like, it's everywhere, and we need to stand up and resist this stuff. The time is now.
People are like, well, you go do this. I'm like, no, 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 no. I don't go without you. I don't do any of this alone. Who are the decision makers that can weave our answers into the legislative and regulatory scheme? And if they're not in Madison, we got to get them in Madison.